and welcome to Tim Conley Drums. So, as my thumbnail states, I am in fact a shark attack survivor. I actually was bitten by a shark at one point, stupidity reigning supreme. Let me tell you the story. So, I was in South Carolina and North Carolina, and I was on tour doing some shows in that area. And of course, as young musicians will do, we were doing some stupid things. And when we were at this club on a night off, we went to a bar and we met some young ladies and we took them back to our hotel and we told them, we're a band from Canada, we're on tour, and, they thought that was super cool. And of course, young men trying stupidly to impress ladies because we're musicians and we're super cool. Anyways, we bring these young ladies back to our hotel, and it's quite late. It's probably 2, 3, maybe even later in the morning. And we convinced them to go down to the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, because we were right on the beach. Now, this is unheard of for bands to actually get a hotel on the ocean because it's expensive. But for some strange reason that I don't understand, we had a hotel that was beachfront, and it was actually really beautiful. The hotel was nice, and the beach area was nice. So we thought we would take advantage of the fact that we're actually in a decent hotel for a change. It's not a dump, because when you're in a band situation and you're out on tour and you're in a hotel, which usually it's not a hotel, it's a motel. It's almost never beachfront, and it's usually crappy and low end and really divey. Like a lot of dive motels is what usually low end bands, like bands that aren't, Keith Urban and Bon Jovi and stuff like that, the lower grade bands that are out on tour just trying to make a living. Well, we never really got the really high end stuff. But anyways, in this particular case, got a decent hotel, and we decided to take advantage of it by inviting these girls back and showing off our hotel, and we're something special. So we talked them into going down to the beach. So we all get our bathing suits on, whatever, and we run down to the beach, and we're playing around on the beach and everything. And I decide stupidly to go into the water. Not a smart thing to do, let me tell you. So I go into the Atlantic Ocean, and of course it's pitch black. I can't see a thing. I don't go too far. I think I went maybe waist deep. The water was quite calm. It wasn't windy. There was no storming. There was no rain, nothing like that. It was quite calm. But I go in about waist deep, and I'm splashing around. And as I'm in the water, I'm trying to convince other people to join me, which, thank God, they did not listen to me. So I'm out in this water, the Atlantic Ocean. All of a sudden, crunch, I feel my toe. Something bites my toe, severely bites my toe. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? Like, extreme pain. I go running out of the water, and my foot is bleeding like crazy. My toe is bleeding like crazy. So needless to say, I realized I've been bitten by something, but I did not know what it was. I had no idea what it was, but I've been bitten. So I take my shirt, sort of tie it up because it was bleeding severely, and I try to stop the bleeding. As this is happening, of course, people are like, rushing over to me and what happened? What happened? And I'm trying to explain to them that I've been bitten by something, but I didn't know what. One of the girls says, "You got bit by a baby shark." And we all laughed. A baby shark, and we all laughed. She says, "Yeah, I didn't say anything, but you shouldn't have been in the water. These are native South Carolinian girls, by the way. We're stupid Canadians, and they know the area, and sharks feed at night. So I stupidly go in the water and I get bit by a baby shark, according to this girl from South Carolina. Now, like I said, we all just blew it off, no big deal. But my toe was starting to swell up. I was having some severe pain. So the night gets cut short. Go back to the hotel. The girls came back with us, and everyone's kind of tending to my medical issue. Well, it starts to get worse. It starts to really swell, and things are not good. So it's like, I got to go to the hospital. I got to get this looked at. Wouldn't stop bleeding, et cetera, et cetera. So these girls very graciously end up taking me to the hospital because, of course, we'd all had a few drinks except for one girl. Thank God for her. She drove me to the hospital. Now, you're going to say, oh, you're a Canadian. You're in the States. You must have paid an arm and a leg to get yourself looked at medically. No, I did not, thankfully, because anytime you are a working musician and you get a actual visa from the government to work in the States, you get insurance as part of the deal to go into the States to work. Now, you don't get the insurance from the government. You have to get the insurance privately, but through the band that I was working with and the management, everybody had medical insurance just in case something stupid happens, and it did. So I go to the hospital, and everybody, the band goes with me, but the girls leave, and I thank them, very gracious. I basically ruined the night for everybody. But I get to the hospital. I finally get seen. And the doctor actually confirms what this one young lady said, that I got bit by a shark. I got bit by a baby shark.
Baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do.
Now, I'm lucky I did not lose my toe. It was a bite. It was as if the shark was kind of testing me out, so to speak. And sometimes, I don't know a lot about sharks, but I've been told that sometimes they come in, they take a bite, they swim around, decide if this is something they like. Now, I got out of the water immediately. And like I said, I was waist deep. And even though I didn't realize I'd been bitten by a shark, blood in the water, sharks like that. I'm lucky that I did not get attacked by any kind of a larger shark. Mama shark, if she had come around, there's a lovely little Canadian snack in the water for me, and I like drummers. But I'm laughing about it now. But let me tell you, at the time, I was not laughing. I was really scared. So the doctor tells me I got bit by this shark. So he stitches me up because I had to get some stitches. He gives me some medication, tells me to stay out of the water and don't be stupid. Good advice. I should have thought of that. But, 20 something, I think I was late 20s or early 30s at the time. It's a long time ago. I now listen to the doctor after he gave me that advice. And since then, I have never once gone back into any ocean area at night. I'll still go in the ocean during the day. I don't have a fear of sharks because of this or anything like that. But I definitely don't go in the water at night. I stay away. And I've always told this story to all my family members and friends. Don't go in the water at night. It's really dangerous. So, moving forward, I start to develop intense swelling, and also I get an infection. Now, luckily, it was my left big toe that got bit. So at that time, I wasn't playing in a band situation where I was playing a lot of double kick. So I was still able to continue and play. Luckily, it wasn't my right foot. If my right foot had been infected and I was out playing and on tour, well, that would have been a serious problem because of the bass drum. I would not have been able to play. I ended up continuing to play, but my toe was getting worse and worse. So I ended up going back to Canada because we had a break, and I get seen there again, and I get put on more meds, and I get the stitches taken out and like heavy meds to try and figure out exactly what this infection is. They know what it is in terms of an animal, but how do we get rid of this infection? Well, it took quite some time, a lot of pain and suffering. It took me about 9 months to recover from that one bite. I'm pretty sure it was only one bite. Could have been more. Like I said, thankful I did not lose any of my toes, and it was just a bite, but the bite was, clear through. Very, very dangerous situation that I put myself in. Now, I do have to say that I certainly learned my lesson that night. That is an absolute surety. I definitely learned my lesson. Like I said, it took me 9 months to recover, and it was a painful recovery. It was infected. The wounds took some time to heal. I mean, I'd never been bit by a shark. I didn't even know anybody that had ever been bit by a shark. So I knew nothing about what was going to happen, the recovery and all this sort of thing. But I kept getting swelling in the toe and repeated infections. The infections kept sort of leaving and coming back and stuff. It was really a strange situation. In the end, it healed up. My toe is fine. I recovered, and I got a great story to tell about being a shark attack survivor. Now, like I said, I can laugh about it now because everything was fine. Toe healed. Took a long time, 9 months. Everything was fine. But man, at the time when I was going through that, right from the bite, right through the 9-month recovery, I was like, man, is this ever going to go away? My toe was swollen up like crazy. I can remember having trouble wearing shoes. I had to wear like open style shoes. I had to modify a few pairs of shoes to be able to fit the toe in because of the swelling. And of course, everybody would ask me, what happened to your foot? So I've told this story many, many times. Obviously, I've never told it to the world on YouTube, but I thought it would be something that would be interesting to tell because it is an interesting story. It's kind of a funny story. There's an element of humor to it, but I'm going to tell you right now, it was not funny going through that entire 9 months of recovery. And again, sometimes when we do stupid things when we're young, we have to pay the price and we have to learn. The thing about stupidity is the ultimate stupidity is when you repeat doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That is the ultimate of stupidity. If you're going to try and do something over and over, you're just going to end up in the exact same position. So the goal, the smart thing to do is change your behavior. Change what you're doing, and maybe you'll get a different result. So for me, I do not go in the ocean in the dark because chances are I probably won't get bit a second time, probably 1 in a million, but I'm not willing to take that chance. So that's my advice to the world. Stay out of the ocean, especially when you can't see. You can't see what is down there, especially when it's, 3 o'clock in the morning. And even if I had a light, I was in waist deep water. I'm not going to be able to see anything. So lesson learned, stay out of dark water at night. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this rather silly, kind of stupid story. But hey, when you're a musician, you're out on tour, you do a lot of stupid things. Let me know if you guys are interested in more of the tour stories, because I've only touched and scratched the surface of 40 years of performing, touring, rehearse, even stuff at rehearsals that have happened to me that's stupid. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And as always, keep drumming. See ya.